Yes. Yeah, now it's okay. Okay, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So I have shown few examples of stream operations, right? So I want to show one more that's very important one that's basically called a map operation, right? So what map do actually? Map allows you to apply some function on each element of the string, right? So if you look at this particular code, here the text is given a text which I split into words, a list of words rather, list of strings. So can you tell me what exactly I'm doing here? Anybody? Quickly, we are having a lot of topics to discuss today.
First, you are filtering where the lengths are greater than.
Yeah, I'm extracting only the words where the length is greater than 5. Then
you are substituting taking the first word. Means every.
yeah, I'm
First word
taking
of the.
the first character of the word.
Yeah, sorry, first character of the word.
Yeah, first character of the word. So it is the starting index and this is the length. So from the first, I'm reading at one character, right? And I'm printing that. So if I just run this, you can see it's basically printing CVASC, right? Like this. So 5 character, this content is 6, right? So that C has came. Then videos, C has came, right? I think it's okay, right? We'll move to next. So basically this map is applying. We can see, understand, no, this is a lambda, we are basically passing it as a lambda function. So for each string in the stream, that is S, do this, right? That is what the map basically means. Okay. I'll come back to this example afterwards. This is you have done, I will, but still I want to discuss once. But this is more important, or rather difficult one. I'll go for this. Okay. Comment a portion of it. Okay. Can anyone tell me what this first function is going to do? Get char list. What it is doing? So split without anything. What does it mean? It will split every character without any delimiter. It will split. So basically, whatever the string will pass, it will break it into characters, right? And each character individually will be treated as a string. And then I take a list. I'll add each character as a string into my list. It's a simple way to say I take a string, then break it into its characters, but I treat each character as a string and put those characters inside a list. Is it okay? Did you get it? Yes, no, anything?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, okay. Please reply because I cannot see what you are doing. Yeah? So I'm taking another list. It's a list of string. I'm adding 3 strings over here, 1, 2, 3, right? And what I do, I call the map on that list. So on that list, and I'm going to call that particular class colon colon get char list means for each of the string which are the elements of my list, I'm calling the map and I'm applying the function get char list. Then I used collectors dot to list means this will convert the stream to list. This will convert the stream to a list. So can you tell me exactly what it will come out? Anyone?
I think it will be 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, why?
All characters separately as list items.
Yeah, yeah. So what could be the data type or the return type? Whenever I'll say to return list, what will be the return type?
It is a list.
It
List of
itself a
list.
list, right? Just give me a minute. 1 minute.
List of list means every
It will
word
give a list of lists.
list
I'm
of
just
list.
going to, yeah, that is what I want to explain. Just I'll take a blank sheet so that I can just discuss that particular part of it. 1 minute. I'm opening that. Hmm. So, if you look at this, what you have initially you have a list that have 1, 2, 3. Now, applying the function, actually this 1 becomes O N E, right? Like this. This 2 becomes T W O. Similarly, 3 will become whatever, right? T separately, H separately. Now I basically get output as this, which is nothing but a list of list or a two-dimensional list, right? This is nothing but a two-dimensional list. If I just try to print this, so this is your output, right? So this is quite clear, like why this output is coming. Now the question is, what different thing the flat list will do? So I think it's quite intuitive. Anybody can try to make out what the flat list will do?
Single dimensional list.
Yeah, it will convert the double dimension that thing into a single. It will flatten the thing. That's all. That's the idea. It's give the same thing, but it is just like a single dimensional thing. So one dimensional thing. So it's a
Is it
uh,
because of that flat map?
yeah. This is because of the flat map,
Okay.
right? So any moment of time, suppose you may do more nesting, right? Map of map, map of map. Like you can have more nesting. You can have a multi-dimensional kind of list. But suppose you are feeling like dealing with the multi-dimensional things are difficult, you may directly switch to flat map and get a single dimensional thing. Right? So I wanted to discuss it because in lot of books and lot of web materials, I find it explained in a very difficult way. I have created this example so that you shouldn't have a doubt because this is very simple thing to understand. The last thing, it's very easy thing. Just you need to answer quickly. I'm not execute all of them because I assume you know this. Okay. Okay. Only the first part. What are the numbers will be generated by it? The generate iterate can generate and iterate both can generate the things, right? So my question is, what are the numbers can be generated by this particular stream? Anybody up to this? What will happen up to the limit?
Yeah, it will take from 1 to 20.
It will take 1 to 20. Then
It will skip, means it will take 1, 6, 11, 13, 19. Sorry, 80.
is it so?
Is it first 5? It will
It will
skip.
skip first 5, right? It will
Sorry,
skip
skip.
first 5.
First
It
5.
will start from 6 to 20, right? Then
To 10, it will take 6 to 10.
6 to 10, right? Then
Exclude the remaining. From
it is
11 to
basically
20.
the same. I just wanted
Yeah.
to show this and these are basically same. You can take either of them. Then you print them, right? That's it. So I'm not executing. You have to execute this code and check out. Okay, then next one.
It's 1 to 4.
Yeah, very simple. This is
Then in upper cases, the take while and the limits works in the same way, right?
somewhat, because think about if I'm generating one after another, then they're same. But suppose the increment is by 2, then they're same or not different. Limit 10 means I want to generate 10 numbers. It is not the value is 10, right?
Right.
So they're
Oh,
not
yeah,
the same.
okay.
So
If
5
I'm-
to 15, I think.
Yeah,
5 to 15 it will generate, I think. First one, the stream dot iterate.
you're talking about this one, right?
Yes, yes.
You're telling it will give 5 to
5 to 15.
15. Yeah. Will take 5 to 15 or yeah, 5 to 15 only. Just I'll run and check this one. I'm little doubtful. I think you're telling correct. 5 to 14 because it is starting from 5, right?
Yes, yes, yes. That's it.
Sir, here the limit was 10, right? Why 5 to 15? I'm not getting.
First it is putting the condition drop, means it will first generate, then it will drop up to 5, up to 4, right? Then the
Oh.
counter will start.
Oh,
But if
then
you
the
just
then the
you
limit
have to
comes.
understand which is coming first. But what you are telling, if you have this, then it will generate only 10 up to the first 10, 1 to 10. Then the filter will be applied, like drop will be applied. But here the drop is applied first. So drop is applied on an infinite string. Whenever you're putting the drop, you're assuming you're generating infinite number.
Got it.
Then you're saying, no, I don't need all, I need only 10. Okay, next.
It will take less than 0.5, whatever random number will come.
Yeah.
10 numbers.
It basically generate 10 random numbers. Then it will filter the random numbers whose values are less than 0.5 and print. The last one I'm not discussing. It will be on the week 9 session. So actually my discussion is over. Dhani, I think you will start, right? Or Yeah. Thank you.
So one small doubt. Limit and filter and take while are same.
Are not exactly the same. If you just alter the position in a different way, see, like if you're checking for a Boolean condition, even odd, can you do it using a take while?
No. Okay.
But you can
For
do it
numerical,
using,
yeah, okay. Got
yeah.
it.
There are certain situations like where one could be working, another could be
Yeah, fine. Got
not
it. Thank you.
applicable. Yeah. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Is my
Yeah.
screen visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this week, I think we are going to have more on what is known as optional, right? Like the last week, probably you did come across it occasionally. So we are going to explore more on what this optional actually means. Okay. So see, of course, if you do not have optional, it is still possible to do everything that you have been doing in Java. But still, optional is a more, I would say, a more elegant way of handling certain things. Okay. So what happens when you get a null pointer exception? What happens if you do not have a valid object reference? If you have a null pointer reference, so many times you get a null pointer exception without actually realizing that. I mean, you could possibly be having one object as an instance variable of another class. Say, for instance, you have class. Okay, just give 1 second. Try writing 1 second. Okay. So you have suppose class employee. You have a certain set of fields, say ID and string name, and then you have say another object, which is address. Address is another class. Okay. Now, what happens if you initialize the employee with only these two values, okay? Only the ID and the name? You have not initialized the address. So by default, if you're just calling the default constructor of employee, what happens? The ID is assigned 0, name is assigned an empty string or null. I'm always confused. So this is assigned null, and then again address is also null. This is how the default constructor installs it, right? And then address has possibly some fields like in house name or in city, something like that. Okay. It's not hidden. All these are strings. Suppose you try to access the house name here, then you will end up with a null pointer exception, right? So what do you do in general to handle this null pointer exceptions? Okay, that I'll come to it when I'm actually coding it for you. For that, before that, I will just try to tell you what optional is. Okay. So you can imagine an optional as being a container which contains the object of some other class. So for instance, you want to have an optional for address, then this is the container. As such, the pointer will be for the address, but here when you have optional is what will have the address. Optional itself is something like a container, which can contain either an actual object or it can contain a null value or nothing. This has nothing, right? Doesn't have anything. So this is something like a wrapper around an object. So what is the purpose of having this wrapper? Right? The purpose is if there is a null, right? If this object reference has a null value, then you have number of ways that the optional allows you to handle these null values. So we'll come to the example. I'll just share the replicate and show you how to code one example. Just one second. Okay. Let us try this employee example itself. Okay, font is too small. The same example which we considered here. Say you have int ID, string name, say address ID. We should find the address class also, address. String name. The class. So you have an employee, put a new employee. I'll just initialize the only the ID and the name. I'll use a constructor to do that, or rather I will simply e dot ID equal to say 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the system. So I'm just trying to show like what happens when you get a null pointer exception and how do you handle it using optional. So that's a motivation for this code. I could have written it and kept it, just wanted to, write it so that you all are also in sync with what I'm writing. Right? So now let me print v dot get address. So clearly we have not initialized so clearly we have not initialized the address, so we should get the pointer exception hopefully. We did not get a null pointer exception. Okay, so I am trying to print what, see this in itself is null, but when you're trying to access something inside it is what will give us the error. Okay, let me just try printing this. We should get a null pointer exception. Address in itself is null, but that is printable, but whatever is inside the null that will not be able to print. Okay, so here we get a null pointer exception, right? So null pointer exception is something that we see very often, and sometimes this is why I'm giving this example specifically, because when you create the employee, you may not get a null pointer exception, but when you're just trying to access something inside it, which in turn has something inside it, and if you have another object inside it, right, something like that, then that actually you are expecting some kind of null value to pop up at some point. Say you had get city, then probably if this was a private variable, you had a get city and then dot something. So if you had such nested kind of things, they like it kind of, we are not sure, right? I mean, so we see this null pointer exception. So what are the different ways to handle this? The first one is you can simply put an if condition here. You can just say if e dot e e dot get address not equal to null, right? Sorry, not equal to null. This is one way to do it. No? So we'll get it printed. This is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to put it inside the try catch block, right? And since you know that it is likely to have some kind of an null pointer exception, you will put it inside the try catch. And you also know that, like, having a lot of try catch block is like very confusing, right? Sometimes it's difficult to parse through the code, to navigate through the code and try to figure out where exactly is the actual code, and it kind of gets messier, right? So there is this one option that Java has given, which is this optional class. So how you do that is, you actually, as I just showed you in the figure, right? You actually wrap it around some object. So here, where you're expecting the null pointer exceptions for the address, right? The address object. So you create an optional with a parameter which is address. Okay, I'll just show you here. So yeah, now if you give here, what happens? E dot address. Does this work? And I've been saying about this wrapper. So does this work? Do you think this will work? Without I'm not going to move my cursor, by then you will understand. So do you want to guess like what will happen if I'm actually saying I'm getting this address and I'm assigning it to the optional address. Will this work or not? What does this return? E dot get address?
Null.
Sorry?
It'll get return a null
No, that is okay. But object of what type?
address.
Address, right? But this is actually not an object of address. This is actually, the address is inside the optional. It is wrapped inside the optional. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to convert this into an optional. So there are multiple ways to generate an optional. So you can actually have an optional which contains an object, or you can create one which is an option, empty optional. Okay. So to create an empty optional, the way to do it is empty optional dot empty. This is one thing to know, but we need an optional which contains this address, right? So if you're sure that this is not going to have a null field, then you can use something called as optional dot off. Okay, you want to create this optional and you want to make use of it for multiple, even though the whole purpose of using it is for to avoid an option. Okay, saying the util, just one second. Even though the whole purpose of using optional is to avoid this, if in case you are sure that this object is not going to do that, you can still return an optional object using this. Okay. But we know that this is going to, so what we do is we use something called as of nullable, meaning this value is likely to be null also. Okay, it is nullable. It is possible that this can have a nullable value also. So that way we get an optional value here. Now, how do you make use of this? Now we want to actually see, right? If the address is there, I want to print something. Address is not there, I want to print something else, right? So there are multiple ways again to do that. There are methods like if present else, or else. All these methods are like different situations in which you can use this. For now, I'll just show you with the example with just one, which is if present else. Okay, this will have both conditions. So what if present else means is that if it has a valid object, then it does something. If it is null, it does something else. So inside the parameter, you have two values, which is, I will just show you. If present or else. So action and empty action, right? So action means if it is present, you do something. Empty action means you do it if it is null. So the second, you have to give a lambda expression here. So if it is present, then you know there is something present, right? So you give Just one second. Here, what I'll do is yeah, so this first one is if the the object is valid, when it is not null. This one is one which you have to do when the object is null. Okay, so if present or else. If present simply means that you do something if it is present. If it is or else, then what you do is in the parameter of or else, you pass a new address object which will get updated. Which you are actually returning a new address object, and if it is null, you do like you initialize it with some default address object. So that is the purpose of using or else. I'm just giving something which uses both. Okay. So let me just see. Okay. So as you can see here, yeah. So you can see here that it has returned a null object and says and goes and does it here. So now we can just try setting the address and see how it works. So for that, I have to create a constructor here. Now I have to I hope these are all, there is nothing in it. You're just adding set address and in the bracket is taking an address variable. So you are just instantiating it using the constructor of this address. That's all what I'm doing. There is nothing fancy here. Okay, that's why I'm just explaining anything. Please interrupt me if you are not able to follow for some reason. Simple, straightforward mutator accessor methods, and I'm just trying to show you just the difference between the three. So now, okay, I have got this one here. Again, I will print the same message. Let me see what happens. Now see, before this, I had not set the address. So I'm getting address not found. Now I am setting this new address and I should be able to see the address printed, right? Okay, but okay, let me see what happens. So can you tell me what is going to be the problem? Can you even tell me what am I missing? I mean, from simple thing.
Hash
Sorry?
code. It
To string of address.
is for the address. Yeah, hash code address.
Yeah, to string, right? To string method.
Yeah,
no?
to string.
Yeah, so I have to overwrite that exactly.
You have to write one more time this OP address, right? Because
Sorry? Sorry?
I'm telling you are using the OP address.
Yeah, okay, I have to write this to string for the employee. I'm actually trying to print the employee, right? Got it? No, I'm trying to print the employee here, right?
No, the optional address, OP
Option is for the
address
address
equal
only.
to.
Correct. No, sorry.
So
Yeah.
that assignment is should be repeated once more, right?
Right.
36, line number 36.
Got it. So I'm saying like I took it before I did the other getting the address, right? No, but that is not required. No? 1 second.
After e dot set address, we have to assign anything again.
Yeah, otherwise it will read the old value of OP address.
No, see, I have a student object, right? And I have set the address as new address. Now the address of this E object is okay. OP address is not changed.
Right. Correct.
So I have to print something like this dot. Does this work? No, this. Okay, let me try this. No, sorry, E1 dot. Will this work?
It's still OP ADR is null only, right?
That's correct. Yeah. But see, if OPR this is null, I'm not asking them. Okay, this is even. Okay, got it. Okay, sorry. My bad. This one I have to get it again. Got it. This is what you were mentioning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Bracket is missed after E1.
This. This.
I think you need to just assign the value. No need to declare again optional.
Sorry, no, I think this is the problem. Sorry, assign the.
So this OPR address one you already declare now. So you just need to assign the new one. Yeah. Then it will work. Yeah.
No, not just that. I had written the city and code for printing here, right? That is what was showing that. And I had copied the
Okay,
string
perfect.
method to the employee to string. So that is it. That was also wrong. this is set and you are getting it again and you are printing it. But confusion about this. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Okay. Okay, so simply put, the idea is like there are so many options that the optional class gives. So actually go through this let's share this optional class documentation. You can see so many methods here which are there. So you can actually see this is actually an empty, actually it is a wrapper for an empty object. Or you can use this flat map, which is very useful. So which Arup has already explained. And sir has also explained the lectures, just try it out. There is this map method also, which is the, I mean, it is slightly different from the map that we use, but it is almost the same purpose as the other one. Then if it is empty, do something, if present is of nullable, I've just shown you. Off is where you're sure that whatever is going to come is a non-null value. The off nullable is like you are anticipating that something could be a nullable, and if that is the case, it will return an empty optional. Yeah, or else is like if the value is present, it returns a value. Otherwise, you want to do something else, like you want to do a certain thing, a certain default value. So if it is not there, then you want to do, in the example sir is giving, say you want to return say minus 0.1 or something, sorry, minus 1.0 or something like that, system standard default value. Yeah, so basically you can just explore this class. Yeah, so that's about the optional class. Now, yeah, so the other thing is like collecting results from streams. So now what we have seen is, to share the notepad, just so we have a certain collection. Okay. So Arup has already shown the collection of the, I'm sorry, example of list, right? And then you convert it into a stream, right? How do you do that? From a collection to a stream?
Dot stream.
Correct. Dot stream method, right? Convert it to a stream. And then you do some kind of processing on it, say filter, map, or whatever. Okay. And then what do you get? You get what? You get a new stream, right?
Yes.
Correct, no?
Yeah.
Now you want to get back the collection. So what is a natural method name that can come here? Collect. Okay. From collection to stream, you use the stream method. From stream to collection, you use the collect method. Very simple to remember. Okay. So there are so many ways. Like this is actually very, I would say, there are so many, I mean, versatile, like so many things you can do on this, but few things I can just show you, for example. To do this collect, you use something called as the collectors class. Okay. It is different from collections. It is different from collector. All of these classes are there in Java. So you specifically remember this is collectors class. Okay. Now inside collectors class, you have number of methods, which will actually help you convert into collections. So if you want to convert it into a list, it has a method like collectors dot to list. So here you will write the syntax. I'll show you something like collect dot collect. In the as argument you have collectors dot to list, and that you will actually return to the list. If you want to have a map, here you will have to map. Here if you want to have a set, you have a to set. But suppose you want to have a tree set. You can still save it to a set object, but how will you do it for a tree set? You use the constructor of the tree set class. So collectors dot to collection. So this is in general for other collections. Here what you use is you use the constructor of the say tree set, then you put a new. Then this will actually use the constructor. So whatever stream is coming from here, right? That is what you're collecting. Each element of the stream, you use it to construct, pass it to this constructor, and it will give you a collection, a tree set collection. And you can assign it to a set. So there are so many ways to collect the results. For generic or more general collections, like you have direct functions which you can use. If you want more specific collections, then you have to use the constructor. So this is the constructor, right? You trace it. This is the syntax by using this double colon operator. Okay. So you use it to collection and the variables. Okay, this is very simple. Then you have something called as grouping by and partitioning by. Okay, so suppose once you get the stream and you want to group whatever you're getting. Say suppose you have a map in which you have say 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 2 comma C, 2 comma D. So map, I think the key value will be just 1 second. Let me just check. Collections. Okay, so basically what it does is, if you say that you want to partition by using the first parameter, right? So suppose this is the, say so this is some roll number and name. Then you say that, okay, this is a student. Okay. So you say that, okay, I want to, I'll just do the grouping by first. Grouping by the student roll number. Then what it will give you is, okay, you have a map. It will return a map actually. Return a map, which first one is a integer corresponding to this number. Okay. The second one will be a list. Okay. It will be a list of persons who have, or rather the students, right? Who have, so suppose this is 1, then this will be the list A comma B. Suppose this value is 2, then the second one will be C comma D. So this is the grouping by, this is what grouping by does. So you have a set of values which you want to group by, you have a stream which you want to group into multiple partitions. Say for instance, all the people who have got say 100 marks, all the people who have got 0 marks, all the people who have got 50 marks, or all the people who have put red dress, all the people who have put green dress. So those kind of grouping by, right? So you get a map, which the first parameter is the value which is used to partition, and the second one will be the list of all those entries which will have the given given parameter as the other argument. So that is what the grouping by does. Now, if you look at partitioning by, this is quite similar and very intuitive also. So here what you're going to give is, you're going to give some predicate here. Predicate meaning some condition which is to be satisfied. Say you want to segregate the odd numbers and even numbers, then you will say that, okay, I mod 2 equal to 0. Then what it does is, it will just put into 2 buckets. Okay, here you can say that this is first bucket, this is the second bucket, and so on. So the number of buckets will depend on the, whereas here, this is fully true and this is fully false. And what is this true or false based on? True or false is based on what this predicate returns. If the predicate returns true, then if your list is say 4, 9, 12, 22, 31, etc., then these numbers which will return a modulo 2 equal to 0, like given numbers, this will all belong to this bucket. and whichever are there here, right, this will belong to this one. Okay, you can just write a simple code to partitioning by and try to print the map and see. So this list will have, so it will just have true or false. Only 2 buckets will be there. So if you put dot get true, then you will get all the values which are there for true. Dot get false, you will get. Here, if you put dot get of this value, then you will get all the list corresponding to this. So you can try out all these multiple options and these other methods which are available in the. This is what is handled in the lecture 2. Okay. Yeah, so there are other elements also like the in summary statistics, which I don't think are very relevant, but sir has addressed those in detail. Just go through those, and if you're not able to understand, we'll check it in the next class. Okay. But I have not seen it being used much, so I'm not really sure. So please check and let me know if you're finding it difficult. We will go through. Only thing, see what in that summary statistics. Okay, I'll just briefly mention. We have something called in summary statistic. This is one class. What it does is basically you can suppose you have a list of a stream of strings, okay, and you want to get a final summary of the stream. So you want to get the length, you want to get the average length of the strings here. Now you say that, okay, I want the average of the string length. So in summary, you can actually assign this, say summary equal to, based on string length, you want to assign the summary. And then from this variable summary, you can use the summary.count or summary.average or summary.max or whatever. So these are like, summarizing the contents in the stream and all the, there are so many things which you can explore. So these are not like really, I'm not sure whether they are used extensively. People know like where it is used extensively, please let me know. Yeah. So that's all what I've noted about these. Yeah. So do you have any questions? Okay. So Anand, shall we go on to the files input streams?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay, thank you. So now I'm going to discuss about 9.3 and the 9.4. Okay, so first 9.3. So in 9.3, so we have input and output streams. Okay, so simply we call it as IO streams. Okay, so first, what is stream? Okay, so stream is nothing but flow of data. Okay, stream is nothing but normal simple definition. Okay, so what is stream? Stream is nothing but flow of data. Okay, so here we have two types of streams: input stream and output stream. Okay, so here input stream. So what is input stream? So input stream is nothing but read a sequence of bytes from some source. Means here stream already I said. Okay, so flow of data. Okay, so here input stream is nothing but read a sequence of bytes from some source. Means here data is flowing from some source to your Java program. So you are reading, okay, sequence of bytes from source, from some source. So here data is flowing from, okay, some source to your Java program. So that is input state. Now coming to output state. Okay, so here also flow of data, but from where to where? Okay, here data is flowing from write a sequence of bytes to some source. Means here data is flowing from your Java program to some source. Okay. Here data is flowing from your Java program to some source. Here some source can be a file or memory or an external text. Okay, so here this is the small introduction about IO. So this is theoretical. Okay, the stream is nothing but flow of data. So here data can be flow, okay, from your Java program to, okay, some source or some source to your Java program. Okay, so input stream is nothing but here data is flowing from some source to your Java program. So here input stream is used to read data from some source. Okay, output stream is used to write, okay, some data to some source. So here data is flowing from, in output streams, data is flowing from Java program to some source. Okay, okay, Java program to some source. Okay, in input stream, data is flowing from some source to your Java program. So this is about this is small introduction about theoretical introduction about input stream and output stream. Okay, so here input streams are used to read data. Output streams are used to write the data. Okay, so see the next slide. Okay, so here IO stream classes are two types. Okay, reader classes already I said. Okay, so input streams are used to read the data, and output streams are used to write the data. So that's why here I mentioned. Okay, so reader classes as well writer classes. Okay, one second. Yeah. So here input stream is the base class for all reader classes, and output stream is the base class for all output streams. Okay, so here input stream and the output stream. Okay, these two are the okay. So predefined classes available in Java.io package. Okay, so these two are available in Java.io package. Okay, so here these are the okay inherited classes, subclasses of the input stream class. Okay, so file input stream, data input stream, and object input stream. Next, here file input stream, file output stream, data output stream, and object output stream. Okay, so here file input stream, okay, data input stream. See here, file input stream, okay, it is used to open the file. Okay, so open a file, okay, in reading mode. Already I said no. So input stream, okay, is used to okay read the data from the file. So it will open the file in reading. Okay, same like okay here input stream, okay, file input stream is open, okay, a file in reading mode. Now file output stream, okay, so it is used to open the file in reading, sorry, in writing mode. Okay, in writing mode. Next, so after opening the file, okay, so you should write some data into the file. No, so or you can read the data from the file. So data input stream is used to read the data. It is used to read data from the file. Okay, so how to read data from the file using data input stream? Okay, so I will write a program. Okay, so you don't need to worry. Okay, I will write in 3 flavors. Okay, how to read data from the file. Okay, and the data output stream. Okay, so this is used to write. Okay, this is used to write data into the file. Okay, so here file input stream and file output stream both are used to open the file. But here input stream, file input stream is used to open the file in reading mode. Okay, in reading mode, and file output stream is used to open the file in writing mode. Okay, next here data input stream. So after opening the file only you can work with the okay. So data input stream. So without opening the file, so without file input stream, you cannot use data input stream. Okay, so without opening file, how can you read the data? Okay, so it is not possible. So here data input stream is depends on the file input stream. So first you should open the file. So before perform any operation. Okay, so here also data input stream. Okay, data input stream is depends on the data output stream is depend on the file output stream. Okay, so next, so by using this data input stream, we can write primitive type of data. Okay, so primitive type of data into the file. So if you want to write okay state of an object, So if you want to store a particular object into the file, okay, that is also possible in Java. Okay, not only primitive data, you can also read. Okay, you can also read state of an object from the file by using object input stream and using object output stream. So you can also so here by using data output stream, you can write primitive type of data into the file. Okay, primitive type of data into the file by using data output stream. Okay, and you can also write, okay, object state of an object into the file. Okay, using object output stream. This object input stream and the object output stream, these two, okay, we'll discuss in 9.4. Okay, so that is a separate topic. Okay, so in 9.4, okay, we'll discuss about this object input stream and the object output stream. Okay, so here data input stream and the data output stream. Okay, both are, okay, work on the, okay, files to write primitive data, to read primitive type of data. Okay, so it will read primitive type of data from the files, and it will write, okay, primitive data, primitive type of data into the file. Okay, so here if you want to, okay, if you want to work, if you want to store, okay, state of an object into the file, then you should use object output stream. And if you want to read state of an object from the file, then you should use this object input stream. Okay, so this is a separate topic in 9.4. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So if anybody has questions, you can ask. I will move to program on these topics. Anybody, please respond.
We are okay, sir.
So first, I'm going to read data from the file. Okay, using input streams. So this is the test class. So here I imported java.io package. So in order to work with the IO streams, so the classes which are related to IO streams all are available in the java.io package. Okay, so already I said no. So if you want to, okay, so open a file in reading mode. Okay, you should, okay, use file input stream. So now I'm going to use file input stream. File input stream FIS is equal to new file input stream of, here we should give path of the file, which file you want to open. So in E drive, so I have created files, is a folder. In this, I'm creating one file, live session.txt. Okay, so live session.txt. Okay, so whenever you are trying to open the file, so there may be a chance of getting, okay, file not found exception. So as it is checked exception, you should handle it by using try catch, or you can, okay, throw that exception. You can forward it, or you can, okay, handle it using try catch. Okay, so already we discussed about checked exceptions in week 7 now. So as it is checked exception, we should either we should throw it, or we can surround it with try catch flag. Okay, so as of now, I'm surrounding it with try catch flag. Okay, so here file is open. Okay, now I want to read the data. Okay, so to read data from the file, okay, we should use data input stream. Okay, so data input stream DIS is equal to new data input stream of, already I said no. So this data input stream is depend on the, okay, file input stream. So we should pass this FIS object in the, okay, data input stream plus constructor. Okay, so now, okay, file is open successfully. Okay, file is open successfully, and the data input stream is all object is also ready to read the data. Okay. Okay. So here while reading the data, okay. So here this file must and should exist. Okay. So without existing file, so you can't read the data. No. So that's why I'm creating, okay, one file here, new text file, live session. So this is text file. Hi Java students. Okay. Hi Java students. How are you? So this is my data. So now I want to read this data from the file. Okay. So, okay. So now I want to read the data. Okay. So here, if you want to read character by character, you can use read method. If you want to read, okay, line by line, you can use read line method. Okay. We have two ways. Okay. I will show, okay, both the ways. Okay. So here, int, okay, ch. Okay. Now what I'm doing is while ch is equal to, sorry, ch is equal to dis dot read. So it will read only one character, read method. Okay, only one character from the file. And if it is not is equal to -1, then I'm going to print it by converting it into char. Yeah, see here while reading, okay, so while opening the file, so you will get file not found exception, and while reading data from the file, you may get IO exception. Okay, you should handle this also, because IO exception is also, okay, so it is also checked exception. So we should add one more catch here, IO exception. Okay, so here dis dot read method. Okay, so it will, okay, it will read the, okay, data from this file livesession.txt one by one. Okay, so here dis read, this method will return ASCII value of the character. Okay, whatever the character present in the file, it will, okay, return the ASCII value of the character. So now I'm checking if it is not is equal to -1. For suppose there is no characters present in the file, then it will return -1. So if the characters are present in the file, then it will return ASCII value of that particular character. Okay. So now ch is equal to das dot read. If it is not is equal to -1, then I will convert this ASCII value, okay, into the character. Okay. So see, hi, okay, Java students, how are you? Okay, are you able to see the output? Anybody please respond?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
we can see that. Yeah.
Okay, so like this. Okay, simply you can write in print, then, okay, you will get total output in a single line like this. So if you use println, okay, so line by line it will print. Okay, so like this. So it will read character by character, okay, from the file. Okay, now, so here what I'm doing is I'm going to comment this. Now what I'm doing is I want to read line by line. Okay, so string str. Okay, so local variable. So here what I'm doing is, so while, okay, while str is equal to dis dot read line. Okay, dis dot read line. Okay, so here read line, okay, will read entire line from the, okay, from the file. Okay, so entire line it will read. Okay, so not is equal to, okay, null. Okay, if there are no lines present in the, okay, present in the file, then it will return null. Okay, so if there is, okay, there is a line in the file, then it will return, okay, the line as a string. So that's why I assigned it to string. So if it is not null, then I will print it. See, hi Java students. How are you? Okay, so this is the way, okay, how to read the data from file character by character, and this is the way, okay, how to read data from the file line by line. Okay, so you can use any. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have another way. So that is, so I'm removing this one. Okay, so otherwise I will comment it. See, so before, okay, reading the file, so I want to check whether the data is, okay, present in the file or not. Okay, so simply what I'm doing is, if das dot, okay, available, okay, it will return, okay, it will return how many number of bytes of data is available in the, okay, file. So das dot available. If there is no data present in the file, then it will return 0. So if the data is present in the file, then it will return the number of bytes available in the file. So if it is greater than 0, okay, if it is greater than 0, then I will create one byte array in order to read the data from file, okay, in the form of byte array. Okay, so byte array I'm creating, so is equal to new byte. Here I'm reading the data in the form of bytes. Okay, so here size of the, okay, byte array is how many number of bytes available in the file. Okay, so dis dot available. So if the data is available, okay, if it is the data is available in the file is greater than 0, then only I want to read the data in the form of byte array. Okay, so that's why I'm creating byte array. Okay, so based on the how many number of bytes available in the file. Okay, now, okay, now dis dot read. See here, read method, okay, is overloaded. Okay, these many ways. Okay, 3 ways. So first read. See, there is no parameters passed, so it will return int. Means it will read only one character. Okay, it will read only one character. And second one, see here, read of byte array. Okay, it will read, okay, all data from the file. Okay, all data from the file in the form of byte array. Okay, so that's why I'm taking second overloaded version of the read method. Okay, so read of data. So now this read method will read, okay, data from the live session.txt and it will store into the byte array. Okay, the byte array is data. Okay. Yeah. Now see here, sys out of, okay, data. If you try to print, okay, data, actually this is not in the form of string. Okay, this is not in the form of string. Okay, this is in the form of byte array. Okay, byte array. So it won't, okay, print in the form of string. So that's why we should convert it into the string by using, okay, string object like this. Okay, see, if you try to print data directly, it will print the hash code of the array because this is byte array. So that's why it will print the hash code. Okay, so in order to get the data, you should convert it into the string like this. Okay, so this is another way. Okay, so if you want to use, you can use. Otherwise, you can leave. Okay, so there is no rule that you should use this way only. Okay, so this is also another way to read the data from file. Okay, you can also read the data in the form of byte array. So if you read your data in the form of byte array, then you should convert it into string like this in order to get actual data. Is it clear?
Just one question. When you are declaring this data byte, so you
Yeah.
are telling when I'm calling dis.read, so it is reading the data and storing in this data variable, right?
It is reading.
How the data is getting stored into this data variable?
So here, if you pass here byte array, it will read the data in the form of byte array. So if you don't pass, okay, byte array object here, it will read only a single character from the file. This is overloaded version. So if you don't pass anything, it will read only one character. If you pass, yeah, like this, then it will read in the form of byte array.
Okay, okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay. So this is one way, and this is second way, and I want to discuss one more way. Okay, if it is clear, I will go to that way. Anybody, please respond.
Yes, clear, sir, clear.
Okay. So by using scanner plus also, okay, we can read data from the file. Okay. So instead of data input stream, so what I'm doing is I'm going to take scanner plus scanner C is equal to new scanner of. Okay. So here I'm passing FIS object. Okay. So here this scanner class, okay, this scanner class has, okay, two methods. Okay. One is next method and a next line method. Okay. So next method will read word by word. Okay. Word by word from the file. Okay. Next line method will read, okay, line by line. Okay. Next method is there and the next line method is there. Okay, so next method will read, okay, word by word. Okay, I will show. Okay, so here while first I will check whether data is present in the, okay, present in the file or not by using hash next. Okay, it will return true if the data is present in the, okay, file or not. So it will return true if the data is present. Okay, if there is no data present, then it will return false. Okay, so sys out of here sc dot next. Okay, so already I said no, so it will read word by word. Hi, okay, one word. Java, one word. Okay, students, one word. How are you? Like that. Okay, so hi, Java, students, how are you? Okay, so if you replace with next line, it will read entire line. Hi, Java students, how are you? Very simple. Okay, so sc dot has next. We'll check whether data is present in the, okay, file or not. So if it is present, you can read line by line or word by word. Okay, so if you want to read word by word, then you should use next method. Otherwise, you can use next line method to read data, okay, line by line. Is it clear? Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir, clear, clear.
Okay. So these are the ways. Okay, you can use any way. Okay, so whichever you are comfortable. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm going to move output streams. So class output test. See here. So already I said no. So if you want to, okay, if you want to open a file, okay, in writing mode, you should use file output string. Okay, file output string. And if you want, after opening a file, okay, in writing mode, okay, you should use data output string to write data into the file. Okay, so now what I'm doing is, so I'm opening the file. So file output string FOS is equal to new file output string of, here we should give name of the file. So e:// files slash. So here apple.txt. Actually, there is no file with the name apple. See here. See ABC books data like that. No? So there is no, okay, file with the name apple.txt. Okay. Okay. While writing the file, if there is no file existing in this location, automatically it will create the file with the mentioned name. Okay. Yeah. Now, so we should surround the try catch. So we add one more, that is IO exception. Simply click start. Okay. Yeah. So I open the file in, okay, which mode? Writing mode. Now I want to write data. Okay. So data output string DOS is equal to new data output string of. So it depends on the FOS. Now I want to write data into the file. Okay. So here string data is equal to, I'm going to take some data in the form of string. Okay. So string data is equal to hi. Okay. Apple. No? So apple is red. So apple color is red. Simple. Okay. Some data. Okay. So I want to write this data into the, okay, apple.txt. Okay. By using DOS dot write. So write. See here, you should write, okay, so in the form of byte array. Okay, so byte array, so there is no method. Okay, okay, there is no predefined method, okay, to pass string directly into the write method. Okay, you should pass byte array. Okay, so how to convert this string into byte array? Okay, simply, so data dot get bytes, so it will convert it into the byte array. Okay, so previously, okay, so byte is converted into the string, okay, by using new string of, okay, in the construct string constructor we are going to pass the, okay, byte array, so then it will convert it to the string. So here I want to convert string into the byte array by using get bytes method. Okay, so data dot get bytes, okay, it will return, okay, byte array of the given string. Okay, it will convert this string into byte array. Okay, so see here, there is no, okay, file with the name apple. Okay. See, I'm going to run this one. Sorry. Okay. See, apple is created automatically. See, apple color is red. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, clear.
Okay, So here my doubt is, sir already told in the lecture. So I'm asking. So I want to, okay, write some data. So other than this apple color is red. Okay. So into the same file. Is it possible? Is it possible? So here output test. So I'm going to create one more file. So output test 2. Okay. Now what I'm doing is simply import start. What I'm doing is, see here, I'm using same code here, copy, okay, copy and paste here. Yeah. Now this is another program. So here I want to write, okay, some other data. Okay. So apple, okay, is pasted. Apple is pasted. Now I'm going to execute this one. Okay. So in this program, okay, so I return this one, and in this program I return this one. Okay. If I try to execute this program, what happened? You tell me. What happened? So what is
It
the
will overwrite
data?
it. It will overwrite it.
It will overwrite it. Okay. So see, I'm going to execute this one. Sorry. Yeah. Now I'm going to open this file. Okay. See, previous data is okay overridden. Okay. So now you tell me. So how? Okay. Now I want to, okay, keep previous data as it is, and I want to append. Okay. So new data to the file. See here, what I'm doing is I'm going to execute this one. Apple color is red is going to, okay, written in the, okay, apple.txt. Now I'm coming to output test 2. Now if I try to execute this one, what happened? So the previous data which is available in the apple.txt, it is, okay, going to erase, and new data will be added to the file. But I want to keep previous data, okay, as it is, and I want to append this new data to the existing data. How is it possible? Anybody want to answer, or otherwise?
I think we have to put the dos dot append or something. Put.
I don't know about append. Okay. So as I said, I will check.
There is no command. Append.
There is no append.
Okay.
Okay. So simply here we should pass one more argument here. We should pass true. Okay. So if you pass true here, what happened is, now file is open, okay, in writing mode, and if you pass true here, so previous data, okay, won't be, okay, erased. Okay. So previous data is saved, and we are going to add new data to the existing data into this file. Okay. Now I'm going to execute this one. See, apple color is red and apple is red. Okay. So actually here by default, so for suppose here if you pass false, okay, you are not able to override. Sorry, you are not able to append data to the existing data. Okay. So if you pass through, then only you are able to append, okay, some data to the existing data in this file. Okay, you should pass here true only. Okay, don't pass false. Is it clear?
Yeah, this part is clear, but if suppose in the same file, if I want to read and append something, okay, not directly append, maybe we need to change some lines. In that case, this will not work because it is when you are making it to true, it will always go and in at the end of the line, right? I'm talking about something I am opening a file and then I am updating in the same file. That is possible in Java.
Can you repeat once? Hello? Can you repeat once?
I'm telling, suppose this apple.txt file, now you have added this apple is red and apple is tasty. Okay. Now, if I will again run this, again it will tell apple is tasty one more time. But now
Yes,
in
yes.
between apple is red, I want to add some other, like for example, Anand Kumar. Okay. And then apple is tasty. Is it possible? That means I am telling that I am reading the same data and again I am
Okay,
writing.
you want to add this apple is tasty in
Yeah,
next
right.
line, huh?
Right. Means reading and writing, as you told in the writing part, okay. The way we are reading line by line, and then we will go and write in that line.
I will try slash and yes. No. This- 1 second.
Anand sir, can you check for dos.println?
Okay, sir. No, sir. There is no method. So that is possible by using printer writer, sir. So using device is not possible. So by using printer writer, it is possible.
Okay, no issues about it.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, I want to discuss printer writer also. Okay. So here I'm going to discuss about printer writer. So see, copy, paste here. So first you should open the file. Okay. So like this by using file output stream. Next, by using printer writer also, you're able to write data into the file. So printer writer. Okay. So it will take FOS object and we should pass through here. Okay. Now out to dot okay, println okay, println of here. So you can pass any data line by line. Okay. So here see. So apple color is red and I can add one more line out dot. So println of okay. So here apple is tasty. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to delete this file. So yeah. So I'm going to execute this one. So here first file is open in writing mode. Okay. Next I'm going to pass this FOS to the printer writer. Okay. Constructor. And now I'm going to add data to this file by using printer writer class. So using println method. Okay. So out.println. Okay. Out.println. Okay. So like this line by line, you can add data to the okay apple.txt. See. So like this. If you want to add like that line by line, you can use this printer writer. Is it clear?
Sir, in this line 11, what is the true stands for?
True. True. Here we should pass through. Otherwise, we can't able to write data into the file. See. So suppose I remove this one. we are not able to write the write the data into the printer either. Okay, you must and should pass through here.
Okay, it's a ticket or like something.
Yeah.
I think, Anand, I just checked. I think it's like automatic flashing of the existing output stream currently. If you turn it on, like it will out clean it. Otherwise, it will have the like old output stream.
Okay.
Creates a new
This
print
too.
writer from an existing output stream without automatic line flashing.
Okay.
It's there in detail in the documentation. There are a number of constructors for the print writer. Each of them serve a different purpose. So you can just take it out.
So you can try this print writer in other ways also. Okay. So this is one way to write data into the file using print writer. Okay. Is it clear? So this is the way to write data into the file. So here in this case, we are not able to append data to the file. So it will erase the previous data and it will add new data to the file. Okay, it will overwrite the data. But here, so if you pass through here, okay, then whatever the data in the in this file, that is okay. So that is safe, and you are going to add new data to the existing data. Okay, if you pass through here. Okay, and by using printer writer, okay, so you can add data to the file like this. Okay, line by line, like this. Okay, so if it is clear, I will move to the serialization.
Yes, okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, next serialization. So apart from primitive type of data, you can also write and read. Okay, so object state from the file. Okay, so here you can export and import objects there. Okay, so here see export means here you can store state of an object. Okay, state of an object into the file. Okay, import means you can read state of an object from the file. Okay, using IO steps. Okay, so how can you write object state into the file, and how can you read state of an object from the file? Okay, so for that we should use two concepts. Okay, so serialization and deserialization. Okay, so serialization means it is a process of storing or exporting state of an object into a file. Next, deserialization. Deserialization means so whatever the state of object you stored in the file, you can read it. Okay, you can import it by using serialization deserialization methods. Okay, so serialization and deserialization. Okay, these two are used to store the state of an object into the file and read the date read the state of an object from the file. Okay, so for this I'm going to take one example. So already I have written see or otherwise I will do. Okay. So see, new I'm going to take one class with the name student. Okay. So student. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to take instance variables. Okay, so string name, so private. Okay, so string private CGPA. Okay, private double. Okay, CGPA. Next, private int age. Okay, so these are the instance variables, and this is the state of an object. Okay, so already we know. Okay, state of an object means so instance variables of a class. Okay, so these are the three private. Sorry, these are the three instance variables of the class. Now I want to initialize. Okay, these three instance variables using constructor. Okay, so this is the constructor I'm using to instantiate these variables. Okay. Now I'm going to override the toString method also. So here I don't want these things. Just name space CGPA space page. Okay. So this is student class. Okay. Now I want to export state of student object. Okay, state of student object into a file. Okay, into a file by using serialization methods. Okay, so for that I'm going to take a class. Okay, so serial test is my class. Okay, serial test is my class. Okay, yeah. So now what I'm doing is here I want to store state of student object. Okay, I want to store state of student object into the file. Okay, so first we should open that file. No, so here in previous slide, see here in previous slide. Okay, so if you want to write primitive data or object, doesn't matter, but you should open the file. Okay, either using input stream, file input stream, or file output stream. So in order to open the file, either you can use file input stream or output stream. So if you want to write state of an object, you should use file output stream. Okay, to open the file. Okay, then you should use object output stream to store state of an object into the file. Okay, so now what I'm doing is so file output stream yes is equal to second. Here I'm going to make it as ASCII in order to import required classes. So file output string FOS is equal to new file output string of here double slash files double slash student dot txt surrounded with file block and add one more block. Okay, so file is open in writing mode. Okay, so now I want to write state of an object. Okay, into the file. Okay, so here see I'm going to create an object of student class here. Student. Okay, yes, or otherwise obj is equal to new student of here student name. Okay, so suppose assured 7.98 CGPA, age 70. Okay, now I want to store state of an object this obj into the into the file. Okay, so for this I'm going to use object output string. Okay, so object output string OOS is equal to new object output string of here I'm passing OOS. Okay, so here I want to write what object, no? So to write object, so we have predefined method, that is write object. Write object. That's it. So here what happened? So we open the file in writing mode. Okay. After that, here I want to write what? Not primitive type of data. So primitive type of data, you should use data output stream. But here I want to write what? State of an object. That's why I'm using object output stream. Okay. So now, okay, I created an object of what? Student class, and I'm storing this object into the student data to txt file. One second. That's it. Okay. So if I run this, so definitely we'll get exception. So what is the exception? See? One second. Yeah. Why this exception is occurred at runtime? Anybody? Anybody?
Implement serializable.
Yeah. So whatever the okay object you want to serialize. Okay. So you should implement that class from serializable interface. Otherwise, you are not able to serialize that particular object. So, serializable interface. Okay. So you should whatever the object you want to serialize. Okay, that class should implement it from the that class should implement the serializable interface. Okay. Otherwise, you can't store this object state into the file. Okay. So here serializable is a marker interface. Okay. So if whatever the class implemented from serializable interface, that class is able to serialize. We can serialize that class object. Otherwise, we can't able to serialize that object. Okay. So now I'm going to run this. Okay. So see. Yeah. So this is the state of an object. So it is going to store like this. So we are not able to understand, but we can read the state of an object by using deserialization process. Okay. So now I'm going to write deserialization. So it is a reverse process. Okay. So here serial test. So here we are going to read state of an object. So we should use input strings here. So file input string FIS is equal to new file input string of. Okay. So here this is the path should I'm going to add one more. Okay, so I open the file in reading mode by using FIS. Now I want to read state of an object, not normal primitive data. Okay, so that's why I'm using object input string. Okay, object input string. OIS is equal to so now I'm going to read state of an object OS dot read object using read object method. Now it will return, okay, it will return as a, okay, object, as a object, because for every class, okay, so by default base class is what? By default base class is object, no? So it will return as a, okay, object class. So now we should cast it into our required class object. Student obj is equal to, okay, so it will return as an object. Now I'm going to convert it into our required object, student. So here we may get a class not found exception. So I'm adding class not found exception also here. Yeah, that's it. So now I'm going to display the object. So whatever the object you are reading from the file. See, Ashok 7.98 and 7. So this is, okay, the data you are reading from the file. See, here you open the file and, okay, so by using object output string, you are going to read object and you are going to casting it into your required, okay, object type, and you are going to display. Is it clear? Serialization and the deserialization. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, clear. But where in actual application, where it is used? Because if you see this file, we can store in a normal text file, right? And from the normal text file, we can again read this one value and again we can put in the class. So means where actually it is used. We understood that how to deserialize and how we are serializing. That is no problem. But in real practice, where it is used actually.
Real means here this object you can store it in it into the file. Later at any point of time you can use.
Oh,
Okay. Later any point of time you can use that object state. And you can also send this object this file to someone else. They can also able to read this data by using this serialization process.
if I know the class structure, then I can go and convert from the read object.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Arup sir, do you want to add something to this?
Yeah, I think Arup sir is not here. No?
Okay. Yeah. So, Dhanyama, I have done.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So we wind up the session. Saturday, we again have this regular open session. We'll discuss the questions at AQ, PQ. Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you.